Afternoon. This is going to be what I'm going to try to do for the Scholastic News and the Science Spin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the Scholastic News. We're going to have some discussion points. I may say, hey, pause the video and discuss. And then I will upload work that can be done to go along with this Scholastic News. You can either print off the work and do it that way, or you can also just do it on a piece of notebook paper and attach it, just writing Scholastic News or Science Spin. So let's get right into the Scholastic News. This is Harriet Tubman, Escape to Freedom. I chose this because we got to study her a little while back, and the kids really enjoyed learning about her, and so I thought this would be a great social studies one to do on Harriet Tubman. So the title of this is Escape to Freedom, and it says, on a cool October morning, Harriet Tubman stepped into the bright sunlight. She had been running away for days. Angry men and scary dogs had chased after her. The men wanted to capture her and enslave her again. But Harriet had escaped. She was finally free. And so if we look here, and we know enslave is one of the vocabulary words that they're going to discuss. And it says forced to work all day without being paid. Enslaved people could be hurt and sold by the people who owned them. Harriet Tubman helped people escape enslavement. So let's dig into our Scholastic News. All right, I'm gonna kind of turn the camera a little bit. There we go. All right, so if we look here, we have this picture that they attached included, and it says Harriet helped many other people escape enslavement. And so here we see this picture of where they are running at night to escape enslavement, and it's titled here, They Should Be Free. And it says, as you read, think about why Harriet was a hero. So this is definitely something that you could be thinking about through this whole article. All right, paragraph 1. Harriet Tubman was born in 1822 in Maryland. She had a mother, a father, and 8 brothers and sisters. And guys, that's a new fact. I don't remember in any of our books learning that she had 8 brothers and sisters. Do you guys remember that? Harriet and her whole family were enslaved. They could be bought, sold, and forced to work all day. They weren't paid, and they could be hurt. Paragraph 2. Harriet was forced to start working when she was very young. When she was only 5 years old, she had to take care of her little brothers and sisters all by herself. She couldn't complain, or she would be punished harshly. We also remember from a text-to-text connection here, we can remember from one of our books that at this very young age, you remember that she was also forced to start working to take care of a family's baby. And we remember that she was hurt harshly during that time if the baby cried. All right, paragraph 3. When Harriet was 27, she learned horrible news. She was going to be sold. The law said that enslaved people could be sold, and Harriet couldn't do anything about it. She was scared. What if she was sold to a person who hurt her? What if she was sent away from her family forever? Paragraph 4, Harriet made a decision. She was going to escape to freedom. So pause the video real quick and talk with your parents about what were these 4 paragraphs about, what was kind of the main idea if we look at this section, what was it really talking about, what was something interesting that you just learned. All right, so let's move on to the next section, Harriet's escape. And so already we can predict by that title that we believe that these next few paragraphs are going to be about how she's going to run away and escape to freedom. Harriet ran away at night. The dark helped her hide, but it also hid anyone who might be looking for her. People called slave catchers chased after enslaved people who ran away. The slave catchers used dogs to follow Harriet's scent. The dogs were terrifying and so were the slave catchers. I'm so sorry. Let me turn that a little bit for you. If they caught Harriet, they would hurt her and they would drag her back to be enslaved again. Harriet knew she couldn't stop. She traveled at night and rested during the day. After many of the running and hiding, she made it to Pennsylvania. Slavery was illegal there. Harriet was free. Do you guys remember in our books learning of her how hard it was for her to travel and finally escape, but when she did actually escape, how amazing that felt for her. And we do remember that it was in Pennsylvania, was definitely where a lot of slaves would get to in order to be free. This vocabulary word right here, illegal, it means not allowed by law. So in Pennsylvania, it was against the law to have slaves. Okay, let's move on. Risking her life. Harriet was safe, but she didn't rest. Many of the people in her family were still enslaved. I was free and they should be free, she said. She decided to go back to help them escape. If Harriet was caught, she could be hurt, enslaved again, or killed. She knew it was dangerous, but she believed that everyone should be free. She went back about 13 times to help people escape. She rescued her niece, her 4 brothers, her parents, and many more people. Other brave people helped Harriet. They were part of a secret group that helped runaways stay safe while going north to freedom. Do you guys remember what that secret group was? What was it called when slaves would use safe houses and safe havens and different people to get to freedom? Can you guys tell your parents what you remember that was? Very good. So it was called the Underground Railroad. And so we can see here different routes she would take through the Underground Railroad to be able to help people to freedom. Harriet was clever. Let's look at this vocabulary word. Able to do or understand things quickly and easily. You need to be clever to solve a puzzle like this one. She was good at coming up with plans. She wore disguises. If you put on a disguise, you dress in a way that hides who you are. To trick the people looking for her. Sometimes she sang songs that were secret codes for the people she was helping. So we know that they would sing songs, but then look at right there. What was that big idea right there? That she was able to use those songs for secret codes. Harriet never got caught. She helped about 70 people make it to freedom. She inspired many others to escape on their own. She gave them hope that they could do it. So we know if we want to, we kind of talked about historical connections, and we can see here that she definitely inspired many others to escape on their own. And so she would be someone that you could connect to other ways of people being able to be escape to freedom, and just kind of that whole time of the Underground Railroad. Remember that she was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. Very inspirational one that helped so many. Inspired. When you inspire people, you make them feel like they can do something, such as make a change for the better. These kids inspire to help others. So they're volunteering. We look at the picture and they're volunteering and inspiring others to volunteer. Okay, and then if we look at this little, let me do the best I can to kind of show you this. So it's the United States in 1850, and this is a picture. It says in 1850, some states allowed people to enslave other people. In other states, slavery was against the law. Harriet brought people to the places where they could be free. And so you can see kind of based on those pictures, slavery was not allowed. In the purple ones and the green ones, slavery was allowed. And then in that big space there, there were not states formed yet at that time in 1850. All right, thanks for bearing with me on my camera skills. Okay. Let's look at the back together. All right, so if we look here, I'm going to read this, and you may not be able to see it fully. It says, in 1861, a big war started in our country. It was called the Civil War. During the war, Harriet worked as a spy and a nurse. In one battle, she rescued 750 enslaved people. When the war ended, slavery became illegal everywhere in the country. After the war, Harriet didn't stop working. She opened up a home to take care of old and sick people. Harriet died in 1913 when she was 91 years old. She lived a long time, and she spent her whole life helping people. And so here is a real picture. This is Harriet with some of her friends and family. All right, question 1. What were Harriet's jobs? What were Harriet's jobs during the war? So spy and nurse, doctor and pilot, teacher and lawyer. So what was her jobs? So see if you can, and what guess you want to do. And then let's look back up here, and it says Harriet worked as a spy and nurse. After the war, slavery became what? Everywhere in our country. Very good. Illegal. Click on what Harriet did after the war. So we can click here. She opened up a home to take care of old and sick people. Awesome job, guys. So that is the end of this News Weekly with Harriet Tubman. And do your best if you need to pause or replay something to help you with the work that is attached. Please do that.